Just a few minutes ago, HFD said active evacuations are no longer taking place, but roads in the area marked in red remain closed. Residents who have evacuated are encouraged to remain outside this area until further notice. We also know that an emergency shelter has been opened at Waianae Intermediate School for those affected by the Maili fire. The shelter is available to all impacted residents and visitors. Pets are welcome, but must be kept on a carrier or on a leash. Our Dylan Ncheta has been following the fire at the scene and talking to residents and others for the last few hours. He's joining us now with the very latest from Maili. Dylan?
Aloha, Ben. Thank you so much. We are actually on a property just off of Maliona Street, and as you can see, it is still a very active scene. I'm going to step out of the way because we have Honolulu Fire Department pulling up another engine here, and just beyond the fence line, you can still see active flames. But the good news here is that it appears that crews are getting the upper hand. The wind is still blowing, but it's not as strong as the afternoon hours, and the smoke itself has thinned out. It's now the thinner white smoke. It's no longer the black billowing smoke that we saw earlier in the afternoon. And we were guided onto this property by a member of the Ahuna Ohana, who unfortunately shared with us that they did lose their home. And what we're seeing here is a charred property. We are looking at also burnt carnival rides. We're told that the property owner here was in the carnival ride business. And although things appear to be not fully tampered down just yet, this is still a very active scene. Honolulu Fire Department does have their chopper here about to make an airdrop, and the flames are no longer as large as they were earlier this afternoon, but they are still working to put out those hot spots. We have multiple crews on scene here, again located on a property just off of Maliona Road, Maliona Street, I should say. A short time ago, we did have an official update from HFD. That was around 6:15 or so. They said the fire then was about 20% contained. Here's a little bit more from that press conference with HFD.
Please stay out of the area in order to give space for our first responders to work. If you feel unsafe or smoke is affecting you, we recommend leaving the area.
Can you confirm if any structures have been burned at this time?
I cannot confirm that at this time.
Obviously, it's very early, but is there any indication as to what started this? Some residents have been saying someone was burning something in their yard. Do you know?
I did not get that information.
Can you go over what streets this may have started at?
I know the call came from Pa'akea, and as we look at the wind, it's variable, so it's been switching. I went down to Maliona, and there's also affected there.
No. Once again, HFD providing the latest information as of 6:15 earlier this evening. Once again, they are still remaining out here battling the hot spots. Some residents that we spoke to also told us that they heard loud explosions around the time of the fire. HFD saying the calls came in between around 2:30, and the first fire units were on scene around 2:42. In total, they have 27 units and 2 air units responding to this. They also got help from the federal fire team, so they continue to battle the blaze with everything they can muster up here out in West Oahu. And as mentioned, the active evacuations are no longer happening, but they are still encouraging people to stay out of the area because this is still ongoing. This battle will continue into the evening hours as the sun goes down. HFD will have to assess the situation and keep their chopper out in force until darkness. It's unclear how long they will still be out here, but again, we still have some small hotspots burning right there. The entire scope of this fire is unknown at this time, how many acres, but earlier we were on the other side of the farm of the property, but things again out here in West Oahu are slowly calming down, but still very active nonetheless. We'll send things back into the studio live in Maili. I'm Dylan Ncheta for Hawaii News Now.
Dylan, thank you very much. As close as you can get to show you the impact of that fire. We continue our team coverage now with Daryl Huff. He is at Maili Beach Park, where Honolulu EMS has set up a command post.
Here at Maili Beach Park, you can still see the smoke drifting. Now it's blowing more to the west. It has been blowing right at us. It's been blowing to the east toward Nanakuli.
I was sitting in my garage and this car passed up real swiftly, came back down and told us there's a fire, that a house burnt down. I didn't know it was the Ahuna farm. And I just had woken up from a nap, so I was, kind of out of it. And then...
You said you were starting to water your house?
Yeah, we tried hosing down the property and the bushes across the road at the egg farm. And then the police and the firemen said we need to evacuate.
This is where EMS has set up its command post, where they've dealt with 3 or 4 people who've been overcome by smoke. They also dealt with one elderly woman early in the fire who was in critical condition and taken to Straub Clinic.
We were called out here to support Honolulu Fire Department, who is continuing to battle this large fire here. We set up a command here at the beach park with HPD. We have EMS assets with the fire command. Right in the beginning of this incident, an elderly patient was identified. I believe she was in her 70s. I don't have her exact age, with burns and smoke inhalation. She was taken to the burn center in critical condition by one of our ambulances. Since that time, we've evaluated a number of police officers due to some smoke exposures because they were helping with the evacuations. They were all fine. Unfortunately, just within the last 5 or 10 minutes, we've also had a few other patients identified that were exposed to smoke. One of them had a very, very high blood pressure.
They say this response is bigger than it would have been before the Lahaina fire, but lessons were learned about coordinating all of this kind of work and bringing in equipment in excess of what you need, just in case you need it. Reporting from Maili Beach Park, Daryl Huff, Hawaii News Now.
Again, to recap, we still have that fire ongoing, but it looks like fire crews are getting the upper hand. Active evacuations have been halted, but people are still being told to remain out of that area in Maili. Stay with Hawaii News Now for continuing coverage of the Maili wildfire. We'll continue to bring you live updates throughout the night. You can also get the very latest on our mobile app or at hawaiinewsnow.com. Take care.